South Africa on Tuesday scrapped more coronavirus measures, ending mandatory negative results for inbound travelers, a move expected to boost tourist numbers. New infections have been falling steadily in the country since January, as well as fatalities.
Due to the changing nature of the pandemic and due to the progress that has been made through our collective efforts, we intend to lift the national state of disaster as soon as public comment on the health regulations published by the Minister of Health have been completed.
The mandatory wearing of face masks when outdoors has also been scrapped. The measure remains for indoor spaces.
All adults have received at least one vaccine dose. We therefore enter the third year of this pandemic more hopeful than ever before. While the pandemic is not yet over, and while we remain cautious, we see many parts of our daily life returning to normal.
Previously, all travelers entering the country were required to produce a negative PCR test. South Africa is keen to restart its economy, which took a hit from pandemic restrictions. A former Central African Republic militia leader accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity appeared before the International Criminal Court for the first time Tuesday. Maxime Mokom led the anti-Balaka armed group, a vigilante outfit formed to confront the Seleka rebel coalition in 2013 and 2014.
It concerns the crimes against humanity of murder, deportation or forcible transfer of population, imprisonment, or other severe deprivation of physical liberty, other inhumane acts, and persecution.
Mokom was handed over by charge to the ICC in The Hague on Monday. His lawyer said Mokom had been mistreated by the Chadian authorities.
The remainder of his money was used to buy his daily ration of food, mouldy bread and a tin of sardines. With a raffia mat on a stone floor for a bed and an empty tub of butter to relieve himself, Mr. Mokom was kept incommunicado for a week without anyone knowing where he was. So before Mr. Khan applauds Chad with vigour for its efficient cooperation, maybe he would like to satisfy himself next time that Article 59 of the Rome Statute has been respected.
Two former Central African warlords, Patrice Edouard Ngaisona and Alfred Yekatom, who led anti-Balaka militias, are currently on trial at the ICC for war crimes and crimes against humanity. Meetings aimed at promoting reconciliation opened in Conakry on Tuesday, 6 months after a military coup upset Guinea's constitutional order. Dubbed the National Conferences, the meetings will bring together youth groups, political parties, women's organizations, traditional leaders and the civil society to discuss what junta leader Kano Mamadi Doumbouya has called a new institutional framework for the country. But some people would rather the junta organize dialogue about the transition from army rule. The country's army rulers have not spelled out a schedule for a return to civilian rule, despite pressure from West Africa's regional bloc ECOWAS. The National Conference meetings are expected to last several weeks. It is not clear what the authorities will do with the recommendations of the meetings.
South African companies have been urged not to employ undocumented foreign nationals to avoid tensions with citizens in the country. President Cyril Ramaphosa made the call on Monday when he was addressing residents in Costa in the northwest during the official commemoration of Human Rights Day. The South African leader said this is against South Africa's values and warns that such actions could lead to vigilantism. Earlier this month, residents in Alexandria in the north of Johannesburg embarked on the so-called Dudula campaign. The protest action, led by the Dudula movement, targeted undocumented foreign nationals in the township. Due to its middle-income status, stable democratic institutions, and comparatively industrialized economy, South Africa hosts the largest number of immigrants on the African continent. According to official estimates, the country is home to about 2.9 million immigrants, which would account for slightly less than 5% of the overall population of 60 million people. Experts though say this number could be an underestimate due to the presence of large numbers of unauthorized migrants, particularly from neighboring countries. Sudan's government has denied reports about the presence of Russian paramilitary group Wagner in Sudan. In a statement on Tuesday, the Foreign Ministry termed accusations by the ambassadors of the US, Britain and Norway on Wagner's activities in the Horn of Africa nation as a blatant interference in Sudan's domestic affairs. On Monday, the Troika for Sudan, the US, Britain and Norway said Wagner Group was engaged in illicit activities that undermine the rule of law in the country. The Sudanese Foreign Ministry in its statement said the Troika diplomats deliberately and in an arbitrary manner involved Sudan in the conflict in Ukraine. The ministry described the statement as an apparent violation of the established diplomatic norms and practices.